Hi, welcome to Independent Green Party and Green Party Green TV. I'm Kerry Campbell, Independent Green Party.
And I'm Brooklyn Kinley, Independent Green Party. Green Party Green TV focus is Independent Green Party candidates. Independent Green Party Green TV is about Green Party Green New Deal eco jobs for the economy. Positive Green Party solutions. Green Party eco-capitalism. Prices must tell the environmental truth. The independent industrial revolution, solar jobs, wind jobs, geothermal jobs, rail jobs, weatherization jobs, conservation jobs, and efficiency jobs. Building green neighborhoods, walkable, bikeable, pedestrian-friendly communities. For the Green Party, the necessary work for 2016 is underway. The Green Party's Dr. Jill Stein is launching petition drives to get the Green Party on the ballot in 3 additional states. Those new Green Party states are Alabama, Kansas, and Idaho. Dr. Jill Stein's Green Party website and Facebook page offer people the opportunity to volunteer as Green Party petition signature gatherers. The Stein Green Party page also offers the opportunity for online donations to the petition drives. Donations will go directly to Green Party petition gatherings in Alabama, Kansas, and Idaho.
The Green Party's Dr. Jill Stein is campaigning across the country. Stein's open letter to Green Party supporters on her web and Facebook pages shows a busy schedule. Dr. Jill Stein writes that she is humbled and honored by the Green Party support she finds across the United States. Dr. Jill Stein has been to state Green Party meetings in California, Texas, Maryland, Washington, D.C., New York, Louisiana, Maine, and more. The Green Party candidate, Dr. Jill Stein, was on the Travis Smiley Show in Los Angeles, California. Stein focused on the need for the Green Party candidate to be in all the debates. Dr. Jill Stein called for the Green Party's Green New Deal, eco jobs for the economy, at the California Green Party State Convention.
In the Second World War, when Pearl Harbor was bombed, we declared an emergency. Well, what we're facing right now actually makes the Second World War look like small potatoes. This is far worse, it's far bigger, and there's no coming back from it, from all of these emergencies. So we need to actually declare the emergency. At the time they did this, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, it took 6 months, okay, 6 months to transform the economy. We did not have a wartime economy, but within 6 months, 25% of GDP, that's like a huge portion of the economy, had become a war economy that was prepared for war. Okay, they did that in 6 months. How about in the next 15 years, we go to 100% clean, renewable energy, wind, water, and sun? So we are calling for a Green New Deal, like the New Deal that helped get us out of the Great Depression. We need a New Deal now, which is also green, because that does a couple things. Number one, it puts everyone back to work with a full-time living wage job. Number two, it meets the needs of our communities to make them completely sustainable in terms of ecology, in terms of economy and social needs. So we're talking about converting our energy system, our food system, our transportation system, as well as meeting critical human needs for housing, schools, and health care. So the Green New Deal also turns the tide on climate change, because if we were at 100% clean renewable energy in 15 years, that is enough to turn the tide on climate change. And if the US begins to do this, we can then begin to set an example for the world to move forward instead of playing the role of sabotaging the forward movement of the rest of the world, which is the role that the US has been playing in the UN climate conferences. So we need to turn that around. The Green New Deal also plays a very critical role because it makes wars for oil and other resources obsolete. So we can cut the friggin' military, bring the troops home, dismantle the bases, dismantle our bases, which get us into trouble, cut our military at least 50%. We're now spending $1 trillion a year. Have we made ourselves more safe? Hardly. Have we made the world more safe? No. Have we made the world more democratic and humane? Hardly. Exactly the opposite on all counts. Where the troops have gone in, we have been very good at creating failed states, at creating terrorist strongholds, and creating mass migrations of refugees. So, bottom line is, this is fixable. Let me also add to that, we can bail out students now. We bailed out the friggin' bankers. They caused the problem. The bankers caused the crisis with their waste, fraud, and abuse, yet we bailed them out against the will of the American people. The Barack Obama administration and both houses, both Democratic houses of Congress, bailed out the banks, gave away the store, inflicted an austerity budget, and in doing so, they provided $17 trillion worth of bailouts. We can bail out the students for $1 trillion plus change. We can do that. We can create a welcoming path to citizenship for the immigrant Americans who have always been the backbone of our society. I had the great pleasure last night of hearing Public Enemy 2.0. Anybody remember Public Enemy? Yeah, really amazing. The original hip-hop group. And they were playing at this sort of libertarian event that I went to. I always go to these libertarian events, and I'll tell you, I'm the only candidate there, so we are really getting together. It's amazing. The Green Party is becoming bigger all the time, I can't tell you. We're seeing socialists come into the Green Party. We're seeing a lot of libertarians work with the Green Party, especially the grassroots libertarians. Greens actually have a long history of principled grassroots libertarianism. Anyhow, Public Enemy was there last night performing, and they were saying, you know, they were critiquing the Republican debate, saying, you know, these guys are talking about building walls. Don't they know this is about tearing down walls? This is the age of tearing down walls, and they're absolutely right. And just a quick word about schools, because what they did at Diet High School is so inspiring, where community members and grandmothers were on a hunger strike, no solid food hunger strike for 32 days, and it would have gone on. There were many members who were going to just continue to the end, and other members of the community did not want to see that happen, so they called off the strike, but they're not done. It's so important, you know, that all of us fight the privatization of our public school system. This is the theft of an essential public resource. We know that charterizing our schools does not improve them. In most cases, it makes them worse. It allows them, you know, to basically cherry pick the students and take the ones who have enormous parental and community support and just dump the others. This is not helping, and when the Obama administration adopted its policy of closing 5,000 so-called poor performing, which means poor, schools, you know, this has been a disaster, and it's been led by the Democratic Party, the Obama administration, the Rahm Emanuel administration in Chicago. So we need to stand up for our public schools and fight back, and there are a lot of students and teachers and communities that are ready to fight with us. So the bottom line is that, you know, I used to think we had to work really, really hard to change people's minds. I was an advocate for many years before I became political. I got tricked into running for office one time back in 2002, and I ran against Mitt Romney for governor of Massachusetts. I had no idea what I was getting into. And I went into this debate. We fought our way into a debate because people did not want to hear this new form of torture that they call the American political debates. And people were screaming that they wanted to hear other voices and real voices. We were able to push our way into a televised debate. Inside the debate hall, I basically spoke up for the same agenda that you've just heard. And inside that TV studio, you can imagine those ideas went over like lead balloons. But when we walked out of the studio into the waiting press area, I was mobbed by the press, who told me that I had won the debate on the instant online viewer poll. And you can be sure that was the last time they did an instant online viewer poll of a debate, because they want you to believe that what the media has to say about it is the reality. And we've seen that in the Republican debates. What most people don't know is that these are not public debates. This is a select audience. So when people are cheering madly for this craziness, for these buffoons, these really dangerous and pathological people, that's not the American public. What they're trying to do is to persuade people not to vote. They're trying to persuade people not to vote and to make you feel disempowered and unrepresented. But what they're really saying is that that's what the Republican and the Democratic parties, for that matter, are about. Anyhow, in that moment, I had this incredible epiphany. When I thought, that I had totally bombed, I learned I won the debate. And I realized then that this whole political scene is basically a scam. It's essentially an amazing, elaborate propaganda exercise to make us feel disempowered and powerless. But the truth of the matter is that we are not powerless, we are powerful. We actually represent core American values. Believe it or not, this is how most people feel. You don't hear from them because they don't have the megaphone. The megaphone is in the hands of, the Koch brothers and the billionaires and the Democratic National Committee and all that. And that's why they control the debates. So I want to leave you with two things. One is that we have two court cases that have been filed. One has been filed and the other one is about to be, that are suing the Commission on Presidential Debates so that we can have real debates. So what we all can do here, one thing we can do right now, if you go to our website, which is jill2016.com, there's a petition that you can sign and get everybody you know to sign it. Because anybody who's not on the payroll of the Democratic or Republican parties desperately wants this. Polls actually show that we'll put it this way, 50% of Americans now do not identify as either Democrat or Republican. So when they restrict the debate to just a Democrat and Republican, they are locking out 50% of voters. We have a right to vote, but we also have a right to know who we can vote for. So go to our website, sign our petition, send it around. You can also get on our newsletter and our email list or our Facebook page. We have handouts, just a flyer out there that you can pick up, because this is the age of crisis, but it really is the age of rebellion. We are that rebellion. The future is in our hands. Democracy is in our hands. Justice is in our hands. Peace is in our hands. The American people are clamoring for it. This is the revolt that we see going on inside of the Democratic Party within Sanders' campaign. What they don't know is that the Democratic Party has a kill switch that gets directed at campaigns that become a threat, and if the Sanders campaign becomes a threat, it will be terminated. And Bernie has already pledged allegiance to Hillary or whoever it is that will win the corporate process. So it's really important for us to build it, because they're gonna come. Get ready. There are going to be a lot of unhappy campers out there. They're being kind of smoke-screened at the moment, but I don't think they're going to be happy little lemmings that are going to follow Bernie into the Democratic Party and into Hillary's campaign. So there are going to be a lot of people out there that are looking for a way forward. We got that way forward. It's in our hands. Join us and hold on to your hat. It's going to be an incredible ride. Thank you.
In New York, Dr. Stein, Green Party, attended the RT television reception and talked briefly with Russia's foreign minister. Also in New York City, the Green Party and Dr. Jill Stein participated in the Black Lives Matter rally. In Massachusetts, the Green Party's Dr. Stein campaigned with a large group of local Green Party candidates. The Green Party group included superpowered Green Party Latina community organizer and Green Party candidate Darlene Elias. The Latino Chamber of Commerce also came out in support.
In New Orleans, Louisiana, Dr. Jill Stein campaigned with Green Party leader Malik Rahim. Green homes and positive Green New Deal, eco jobs for the economy. In Maryland, the Green Party doctors, Jill Stein and Margaret Flowers, campaigned together. Dr. Margaret Flowers is the Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate in Maryland.
And for U.S. President, I think that what happened today in Congress is just a symptom of where we are as a nation. The fact that the broadest coalition ever of groups across the political spectrum, across issues, all of labor, the environmental movement, people who care about food safety, health care, internet freedom, you name it, came together to fight fast track, to tell Congress not to sneak secret treaties through without understanding their impacts on our communities, with hundreds of thousands of phone calls, emails, letters from major coalitions across the nation. Even the European Parliament members sent letters to our Congress saying don't pass fast track, and they went ahead and did it anyway. And how did they do it? They did it by bending the rules. They did it by having just exactly the amount of votes that they needed to pass it. How convenient was that?
According to the CIA World Factbook, the Green Party is one of only 4 truly national political parties in the United States. The Independent Green Party, according to Ballot Access News, is the most active on ballot third party in Virginia in 100 years. Greens are actively recruiting to a full slate of 435 U.S. House candidates in 2016. The Green Party is recruiting for a full slate of 33 Green Party candidates for U.S. Senate, like Dr. Margaret Flowers. 4 other candidates seek the Green Party nomination for President of the United States. Dr. William Kremlo is a retired political science professor, an attorney, and author. Dr. Kremlo has run for other offices as a Green Party candidate. Dr. Bill Kremlo is a member of the South Carolina Green Party. The Green Party professor has worked on a presidential commission on how to improve the USA's election process and results. Dr. Kent Mesplay is also seeking the Green Party nomination for president. Mesplay previously ran for the Green Party nomination for U.S. Senate. The Green Party Kent Mesplay has sought the Green Party nomination for president 3 times. A scientist and engineer, Dr. Mesplay worked a regular job during each of his other campaigns. There are reports that Dr. Mesplay will retire from his day job to campaign full-time. SKCM Curry, California Green Party, is a media professional. Ms. Curry is also seeking the Green Party nomination for president. Curry was a key Green Party leader in the 2008 Green Party presidential campaign of former Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney. Cynthia McKinney was a Green Party nominee for president in 2008. Here's the Dr. Jill Stein's Green Party video.
The biggest way people give up power is by not knowing that we have it to start with. Well, we got it, and we're going to use it. And it doesn't come from the big corporate political parties that are bought and paid for by Wall Street. Their choices are not our choices. Their candidates are not our candidates. Their economy is not our economy. Their government is not our government. Their prisons are not our prisons. Their police are not our police. And their endless wars are not our wars. And their recovery for the few is not our recovery. The 1% is quaking in their boots because we're waking up to the fact that we have the power and we're going to use it. We have the power to make the minimum wage a living wage. We have the power to turn the tide on climate change. We have the power to create a welcoming path to citizenship. We have the power to end the racist war on drugs. It's in our hands. Together, we can build a world that puts people and the planet and peace over profit. That's in our hands. Our power to create this new world. It's not in our hopes. It's not in our dreams. It's in our hands. Thank you.
The Independent Green Party of Virginia, as all other state Green parties across the United States, is recruiting candidates for Congress in 2016. You can contact the Independent Green Party by visiting our Indy Green Party Facebook page, or you can visit the Independent Green Party webpage. If you want to be an Independent Green Party candidate for U.S. House of Representatives in 2016, you have to contact the Independent Green Party Chairman Joseph P. Otto. Joseph's email is usrepublic@aol.com, or you can call him, the Independent Green Party, at 703.
You can contact the Independent Green Party at 703-351-1235. Brooklyn Kenley.
Former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura and Navy SEAL is a possible 2016 Green Party candidate. Jesse Ventura invited the Green Party's Dr. Jill Stein on his TV show to discuss the possibilities.
It is. Polls show that almost 60% of the American public is actually saying that we need an independent third party because the Democrats and Republicans are doing such a poor job of representing everyday people. And there was a recent poll that was just done by the Wall Street Journal and NBC, I think it was. And the results have kind of been buried because they are so embarrassing to the powers that be. What those results showed was barely 20%, I think it was like 21% of the voting public actually identifies as a Republican, and less than 30% identify as a Democrat. So that's basically 50%. It's 1 out of every 2 voters that does not identify as Democrat or Republican. And right now, all those diverse voices are completely locked out of the debate, which is why presidential debates have become a new form of cruel and unusual punishment to have to sit and listen to them. Voters have a right to more voices and more choices than those that are basically chosen by Wall Street and their political apologists. And we have a right to know about our candidates. So we need to open up this Commission on Presidential Debates. Right now, it is a bipartisan commission. It's run by the heads of the Democratic and Republican parties, and it was founded by that. Few people know that, and the League of Women Voters quit in disgust saying that they could not be a party to this fraud on the American voter.
Dr. Jill Stein on Jesse Ventura's show. Brooklyn Kenley, tell me your thoughts and your impressions. You know, the possibility that Jesse Ventura, American celebrity, you mentioned while we were watching it that you remember him from being a wrestler.
A wrestler, yes.
Yeah. And of course, the former governor of Minnesota, elected as a third-party governor, the Reform Party. Now possibly Jesse Ventura, a Green Party candidate or a running mate, perhaps for Jill Stein. What are some of your thoughts, Brooklyn?
That's very surprising, you know, to see a wrestler become a candidate for a political party. You know, it's kind of like a shift, you know, in careers.
Jesse is a Navy SEAL, and the key, I think, to that race that you're referring to is you couldn't see it there, but Jesse goes about 6'4", and they had the TV debates, and the two fellows that Jesse was debating with, they were small guys.
Oh.
Okay. And so Jesse stood up there and was very forceful, very convincing.
I guess it's kind of like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger was an actor and now he became a governor.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like, you know, I can kind of see him actually succeeding, you know, because it has happened.
So you think Jesse Ventura will be an asset to the Green Party ticket if Dr. Jill Stein would decide to, should she get the nomination, should she run with him?
I think it would be great. It would be interesting.
It would be interesting. All right. Well, Brooklyn, thanks again. That's, folks, going to do it for another Green Party, Independent Green Party, Green TV. We thank you so much for tuning in.
I'm Brooklyn Kinley.
I'm Kerry Campbell. We'll see you again next time on Green TV.